Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and here are my Stanley Cup playoff predictions. But before we start, here are my preseason predictions. On the bottom, you can see that says Jackets, and on the right, I had the Rangers beating the Bruins in 6. So as you can see, it's kind of accurate. And here are my predictions for the West, and I had the Ducks beating the Rangers in the finals, and Ducks advancing before the Blues. So now let's go on to my predictions. So I don't want to bore you guys saying, oh, this guy has this many goals in this many games. But I had some things that I based it on. So St. Louis had Minnesota winning based on experience, and they have a hot goalie right now. And that's really important. St. Louis has a lot of key members, but they have a struggling goalie. So I picked it in 7. Ottawa is hot, but I think Montreal will win because their goaling is really good. And Ottawa just doesn't have an experienced team. Like, their offense and their whole hockey thing is not really that good. In Nashville, I have them losing to Chicago mainly because Nashville doesn't have much experience and Chicago does. And even though Chicago doesn't have their best player, I feel like experience and yeah. And so going on to the next game, Tampa Bay Lightning versus Detroit. I really do think Tampa Bay will pull it off. Even though they have some injuries, just Detroit doesn't seem really good because they have a struggling goalie. Anaheim, I think they're going to win 7 games. Winnipeg is a very physical team, but I think that's going to be their downfall because they're going to take a lot of penalties, and Anaheim will win in 7. New York Rangers versus Pittsburgh, the revenge. New York Rangers were losing 3-1 last year, and I really do think it's not going to be that close because Pittsburgh is struggling, and they only have 2 really players other than their goalie. And Vancouver, Calgary, I have to give it to Calgary and Vancouver because, as you could see before, I didn't really pick on them, either of them, and look at them, they're doing really good. I actually picked Calgary to only have 65 points. So yeah, that's way better than I thought they would do. Washington versus New York Islanders. Washington's hot. New York Islanders not really the money experience. So yeah, I think it's going to be in 7 games, and the Vancouver Calgary, I think it's going to be 5. Calgary winning because I can't see Vancouver winning that at all because I did some research before. I know I'm pretty good. Okay, so now on to the second round. As you can see, it's barely fading on. And so I have Minnesota versus the Blackhawks, and I have the Blackhawks winning that game. You didn't have to pick the amount of games, but if I had to say, it would be more like 6 to 7 games. You never know with these things because with the predictions, and basically I didn't put much thought into it because the more thought you put into it, So Montreal beating Tampa Bay Lightning based on experience and all things like that. The Ducks versus Calgary, I just do think the Ducks are just the better team. They'll just outplay them. And the Rangers versus the Washington Capitals, I have to roll with my Rangers. They're the number 1 team in the league. I'm proud of them, President's Trophy winners representing. Okay, so now on to the conference finals. I have Chicago over Anaheim based on experience and all things. Now the Rangers beating the matchup in Montreal. Then in the Stanley Cup finals, I have the New York Rangers beating the Blackhawks. I have them winning in with 32 goals. If I had to predict the amount of games, I would say somewhere in 6 games. I just do think the Rangers just can't be stopped. If Lundqvist, let's say, is having a bad day, Talbot can just come in and, do what he has to do. And with all their players, because I've been watching them throughout the entire season, I just do think they're a really good team. So the Stanley Cup 2015 champions, according to me, I pick them every single year. They haven't won in 20 years. So why not this year, the New York Rangers? So you have to pick the Stanley Cup winner, predict the length of each series in the first round, and predict the number of goals. And you can save your bracket and everything, and you can't view other people's brackets. Here's a scoring format. Be sure to read it. And I like this because there's a point thing. You don't have to predict it exactly. To predict it exactly and everything, it's more the 8.0 times 10 to the 24th. Not like the NCAA tournament. Here are the prizes. I don't really care about the prizes. I just want to have some fun. Challenge your friends. See who does better. See who gets more points. And yeah, so I can't wait for the Stanley Cup Finals. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. So yeah, I think I did pretty good with my predictions this season. I'm getting better by the year. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and see you in my next one. Bye, guys.